That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to a Notre Dame blows out Pitt. Narduzzi goes down, and he'll probably never sleep again. And you love to see an edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, thank you for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate that as well. Notifications on that way you're alerted every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishND@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it the call-in lines. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it, everybody. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Mike Goolsby and myself. This post-game show brought to you by new sponsor, NDSubwayAlumni.com. Go support them. Get yourself a Lewski. Get yourself a shirt. Get involved with them. We want to honor Notre Dame Subway alumni and always hold them in high regard. Those are the people that make Notre Dame, worldwide, all over. Didn't go there, doesn't matter, love them. Go check it out. So, interesting ball game. Started kind of weird, ended up in a blowout. I don't know what you make of it. The biggest takeaway for me isn't even about Notre Dame's game. It was what happened to Clemson. That's what changed the most for me Saturday, was because Clemson lost again. Just the dynamic going into next week's totally shifted. I expect Notre Dame to go in there and just finish them off. They got major problems. And I know this game's going to be at Death Valley and it isn't going to be easy, but it is hard for me not to look at Clemson and think Notre Dame, go in there and just put them out of their misery, man. So that's kind of in the undercurrent there, you know? And so they're just in big trouble. 24-17, 4 to NC State, 4 losses, just woof. So they're bleeding out. Notre Dame just needs to finish the job. So that's kind of a big picture way to start looking into next week. And then this Notre Dame defense is playing great. It's just playing great. You're getting big time plays, game-changing plays, pick sixes. Special teams made plays in this game and a big one in the USC game as well. Tons of turnovers, multiple, special teams TDs. I love that, man. These two groups have been really solid in the last 2 games, and you love to see it. Game-changing plays. Xavier Watts, congratulations. I always say this. I love seeing a guy make plays when they had to undergo a position switch, and that's hard and it's awkward, and being a team guy and all that. That's a hard thing to do. I love seeing him be rewarded. I absolutely love seeing him be rewarded in this way. Good job, Tyree, making big plays early today. Special team, I just love to see it. Love to see it. So I suspect, though, engaging from the post-game show, the call-in, people just still aren't in love with the offense and the efficiency and just the way it looks and the way it runs. And even in a game where you score almost 60 points, Notre Dame fans ended up after it being like, so how good's this offense again? That's just kind of where we're at. Here's my biggest issue with it. It isn't Sam Hartman and are you getting what you thought you were getting out of it or whatever, and Parker and all that. My issue's this is an overall big picture one. It just feels like from Ohio State on, the way Notre Dame's been getting by, it just feels like it did before. Meaning before Hartman and before Freeman and all that. Defensive oriented as the backbone. And if you get a bonus special teams play or whatever, good for you. But I just don't know. It's just not an offense that excites anybody. And at some point, the reality is Notre Dame's going to have that offense take a big leap forward to do anything in the renovated playoff era. They're just going to have to. And it just doesn't feel like they're there for whatever reason or a combination of reasons. Hartman, the wide receivers, offensive line isn't always the best at pass protection. Parker, whatever it is, personnel. Like, nobody's here for Hartman to come in and throw those interceptions, but I can't blame Parker for that. So I just don't know where you fall on all this. It's really hard to sit there and complain about much when it's 58 to whatever. It's really hard to complain about much. But I think there's a place to be appreciative we blew these guys out and also acknowledge the offense isn't a finished product and it's nowhere near where you want it to be. I feel like it's fair to have both those thoughts and feelings at the same time. And I've also always said this. The best time to complain about something you want your team to get better at is after a big blowout win. It ain't after a loss. It's when you did good enough to win big and there's still meat left on the bone. That's the best time. 4 interceptions. I love it. Watts, Mickey, Gray. I mean, I don't like it coming in injury, but I'm glad younger guys getting to play there with Gray. Pitt had 46 yards rushing before garbage time. Give me a break. 125, 7 passing before garbage time. Come on now. Shutout before garbage time. You can't really ask much more, man. Special teams defense, pretty much lights out. Love it. You allow no points and you get game-changing turnovers. Beautiful. That Tyree punt return reminded me one of the Rockets in 89 at the Big House. That's what it reminded me of. I could hear Tony Roberts now. He gets into the pile and you expect him to be down, and then before you know it, he bounces out and he's gone. Love it. The muff, I don't know how much credit you get for a muff. At least you were there to land on it. And it made Narduzzi lose his mind even more. I'm always here for that. And I know people that, there was a hold on the first interception on Hartman, not called. Everybody's frustrated with that. I get it. Maybe we just need to realize there's a reason Hartman's not in the league and Notre Dame doesn't have enough talent all around him to make it look like we want it to look this year. I don't know. The other thing is, what do you make of Angeli? Were you happy with what you saw at AM? A lot of people liked the way he was throwing the ball around and thought he held in there. It's one of the biggest things going into next year that Notre Dame has to figure out is who has the keys to this offense. And Freeman himself said they're going to start talking about that after the bye week. I know that staff thinks a lot of Angeli. What else is in the portal? Who else might be interested? I just don't know what direction they're going to go. But I do know this. You got to figure this offense out. If you're doubling down on Parker or if you're not, and what you want to do at quarterback. Are you going to the portal again or not? So they got a lot to figure out on that side of the ball for sure. With some big picture stuff. Estime, the workhorse, 3 TDs, 115 yards, 327 passing yards. Seems like a better day than it felt. Does that make sense? That seems like a better day than it felt. And again, I'm not complaining. I'm glad we won by that much. I'm just looking at ways we could get better and have that offense look a little more efficient. Rico, Tobias got that deep ball. The tight ends, Hope Evans okay. I did like some of those short passes at the backs earlier in the game, the early series. I like some of that as a way to get the ball out quick, get it to your athletes, and then let them do what they do best. I like some of that. This is about all you can ask for, I think. When you're playing these guys, man, I don't know what else you're going to ask for. You scored almost 60 points. When's the last time Notre Dame scored 40-something points in the second half of a ball game? No matter how they're getting the points, right? So that's encouraging. But, man, seeing the way this offense or defense and special teams have come to life the last couple games with big, like game-changing plays, not just like they're hanging in there and they're solid, a pick six, like game-changing stuff. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's just at some point, Notre Dame fans want the offense to look more like a big boy offense. That's all. And I think we're just at the point in the year where you accept it ain't going to happen this year. So you got to get through without losing any more games and then get to the offseason and see what you want to do. Right? Like, I don't see your other options. I think that's it. So now what you need to do is you need to go deliver the death blow to Clemson. All the pressure's on Notre Dame now, in my opinion. Like, they're off the deep end, beyond on the low level of Clemson. They're beyond what anybody thought they could even be on the low end. You got to go in there and deliver the death blow. I think the pressure's on Notre Dame there in that moment now. Now that they're so down and out and everybody's seen how down and out they are, you can't go in there and get beat by that team. That's a bad look. So you can't do that. So the pressure's now, in my opinion, totally on ND to go in there and take care of business. Stomp out their dying last breath. And then you should be on the fast track to 10-2. And I mean, I realize that's not the ultimate goal and not what everybody wanted. And the 2 losses are super frustrating in 2 different ways. 10-2 is the best you could do now. Go 10-2. Hope you get in a major bowl game. Beat Saban, beat Brian Kelly. I don't know. Find a compelling 2-game, big time bowl game matchup somewhere. So I just think that's where we're at, man. Good special teams doing good. Defense on fire, playing great defense. The offense, it's just always a work in progress. I need you to put down Clemson and not let them get up at their place. That's what I need. Everybody have a good night, and then we'll talk about Clemson this week. We need this one. You got to put them out of their misery. Have a good